I'm back in Zambia, on the tail of wild dogs.
Hold on, buddy.
I can't wait to catch up with the packs. But there are big changes afoot.
Right now, there's a lot of lions in the area. It's bad news for the dogs.
I've heard the dogs are under huge pressure. They're lying low. But I'm determined to find them. I'm Julz Braatvedt. I'm a wildlife filmmaker and I love African wild dogs.
This is epic.
Last year, I got to know some special dogs here in Zambia's South Luangwa National Park. Now I'm back to see how they're doing.
Mate, I missed you.
It's the end of the denning season. The packs have brand new pups. And the pups I met last time are yearlings. They have to step up and protect the family. No easy task when their arch enemies, lions, are piling on the pressure.
My goodness.
I'm going to be following the fortunes of two very different packs. The mighty Manzi and the fearless Kakumbi dogs, as they face their toughest challenges head on. Zambia's Luangwa Valley is one of the few places in Africa where endangered wild dogs still have a stronghold. And this time of year, the pups are just getting ready to leave their dens.
I'm on my way down to the Manzi pack. It's pretty exciting because I haven't seen these dogs since last year. And there's been a whole rainy season and who knows what's happened really.
Last season, I witnessed the Manzi pack successfully rear 6 puppies. As the pack grew, I expected some of the dogs to leave and form their own packs. But wild dogs never fail to surprise me.
What I have heard is that the pack didn't split. They stayed together, which is just unbelievable. I thought for sure they were going to split. They're at 22 dogs. Now they've had puppies as well, so they're probably up nearly 30 dogs, which is just going to be so epic to see.
Each year, when pups are about to be born, a wild dog pack finds a den where they stay until the pups are big enough to travel around with them. I've been told the Manzi have just left their den, but are still in the area.
This pack has been hounded by lions. Through the denning season, they've moved dens 4 times, and that's probably as a direct result of bumping into lions or having lions actually come and attack them at the den.
Through here.
I'm accompanied once again by my friend and park scout, Simon Chulu.
Sorry, Tree. Ah, there they are. That's got to be them.
Wild dogs typically wake up late afternoon when the day starts to cool down.
Here come the dogs. The whole pack coming out. Oh. Amazing, we're right in the right spot. This could not be better. Stunning. Oh, look there, we got some puppies. Magic. It's so nice. There's a lot of puppies here. 6 puppies, 7 puppies, 8 puppies.
I count 11. That's a big litter.
Now the challenge for me is to try and work out which ones are the yearlings, because they've done so much growing.
The yearlings are last year's pups. It's hard to tell them apart from the other adults now. Then I recognize an old friend.
That looks like Snowy. Dog, all covered in white. Wow.
Snowy was one of my favorite pups. with his unmistakable white patch. Now he's grown up and is taking on bigger responsibilities. Snowy and the other yearlings help look after and defend the new pups and join in the hunts.
It's amazing to see the transformation for these yearlings. When I left them last, they weren't much bigger than the puppies as they are now. And now they're adult dogs. It's almost like seeing a high school friend 10 years later at a reunion and sort of barely even recognising them. I haven't seen Weka just yet.
Weka was the alpha female last year, and it looks like there are no other adult females of breeding age, so she'll almost certainly be the mother to all these pups. There she is, with the trademark chunk missing from her ear. And she's clearly doing a great job of keeping this pack in line.
Nothing really prepares you for coming back and seeing all the dogs like this. It's just really, really special. And to see so many of them together. I think we'll leave them now. They don't look like they're going to be up to much until after dark. But I guess my biggest fear now is that when they do get mobile, they're getting mobile at exactly the same time as lions like to get active.
With the lion threat far greater than last year, these dogs are going to be living life on the run. Now that we've found the dogs, we have to stay on their trail.
It's just before dawn, and we're out looking for the Manzi pack again. We're headed back to where we left them last night.
Usually, dogs will go off hunting at first light. So once we're in the general area, we start to look for signs.
Nothing.
Hours later, there's still no trace. The dogs are gone. And then I discover why.
There, little cub. Wow.
Lions. This must be Chinzombo pride. There's every chance the Manzi bumped into them and have gone on the run.
Let's get this camera set. This lion's got a half of a warthog here, it looks like. Just pulled it out of the bushes. They've obviously made this kill this morning and then brought the cubs here. We might see the cubs come and try and pester them and see if they can start gnawing on the carcass themselves. This male is certainly the father of these cubs. There's no way he'd be tolerating these cubs if he wasn't. He's probably fighting every one of his instincts. There we go, got a scolding. A single serious swipe from that male lion would knock my head just about clean off. So he's really holding back on the power that he's got when he's disciplining these cubs. They've also got to learn that there's a hierarchy when it comes to feeding. And in lion society, Dad eats first.
That's so different to a wild dog pack, where pups get to eat first. The two lionesses are hanging around, hopefully. But the male's having none of it. I have to say, when I see this lion gnawing on this warthog here, I
can't help but imagine what it would be like if he got hold of one of the wild dogs. He'd make really, really short work of any of them. Cub looks gutted that it's been bumped away from the carcass.
With Chinzombo Pride around, the Manzi could be miles away. While I wait for a lead on their location, I decide to check in with the Zambian Carnivore Program, or ZCP, which monitors all the wild dogs here in South Luangwa.
Henry!
Hey, Julz.
Good to see you, man.
Henry Mwape has been keeping tabs on a new wild dog pack that's appeared on the scene. Unlike the Manzi, they're still taking refuge in their den.
We're on our way to the den for Kakumbi pack. Henry's been monitoring this den for a few weeks, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Kakumbi are the polar opposite of the mighty Manzi.
Through this way, yeah.
They are a tiny dog pack, with just 2 males and a female looking after 6 pups.
We'll cross this gully in between those 2 trees.
I'm especially interested in these dogs because the 2 males have come from Stork Pack, which I was filming last year. They left their old pack and set up Kakumbi with a new female.
This is the area that Stork Pack was using a lot when we were filming with them. So these males know this area very, very well, I guess. That's why they chose to stay around here.
Definitely, yeah. This is their favorite place.
Unlike the Manzi, Kakumbi have denned outside the national park, in the buffer zone, where there are fewer lions. But they're closer to town and people. Poachers' snares are more common around here. They set them mainly for antelope, but dogs and other wildlife also get caught in them. Den sites are sensitive. We're being cautious so as not to disturb the dogs.
Beautiful. This is such a nice den. It's just a beautiful spot, nice shade, good light. It's like a little paradise. How many can you see?
Right now I can see about 4.
4, okay.
And there's the other 2. That's all 6 pups accounted for, but no adults.
Henry's using the telemetry to scan for one of the collared dogs. Basically, he's able to tell where she is, in what direction is she coming in.
She's coming in this direction.
Got a glimpse of the adults in the background, so we know that they're moving around outside the den.
The adults seem to be keeping their distance.
Why are they staying away from the den? They don't want to stay close to the entrance.
They don't want to draw much attention to the den, so they will be like a little bit further away just to watch and see who is coming. But if there's any danger, they'll quickly alarm and come back.
It's a clever tactic to keep predators from locating the den.
It's almost like you think there's no babysitters here at all, but actually they're just secretly lying in the bushes nearby.
Exactly.
Oh, there's an elephant. Copy's got a good fright there.
Elephants aren't a threat to wild dogs. But the pups don't know that yet.
Back down the hole. These puppies, for them, den is still a place of refuge. So as soon as there's any kind of sense of danger, they drop straight back into the hole.
The adult female's coming in again. I'm going to call her a mai, which means mum.
Picking up food off the ground there that she regurgitated for them.
Adults hold meat in their stomach and then bring it back up to feed the little ones.
That looks like a girl, eh? That's a female, right? That one, another female. We've had a good view at all of the pups. We've also seen the adults regurgitate food successfully for these pups, which tells me that this is a pack that's thriving against the odds. I'm really gunning for this pack.
But the real test for Kakumbi will be when they leave the den. And according to ZCP, that could be any day now. We finally had a tip-off about the Manzi pack's location. I want to get there before they disappear again. To get back into the national park, we have to cross the Luangwa River. And this is a great shortcut.
So we've got our first entry into the park by pontoon here. Always a bit of an adventure. Got to cross on this small boat across the hippo and crocodile-infested waters. These guys are going to pull us across, which is pretty cool.
It looks precarious, but it does the job. Just got to make sure I don't overshoot.
On, easy. Can I row? Tell me when to pull, eh? Ready? Let's go.
As the dry season progresses, we'll be able to drive across the river. But right now, it's way too deep. And I don't fancy my chances against those guys. The Luangwa is one of the largest rivers in Zambia and home to a whole host of wildlife.
Woo. Hard work. Thanks, guys. Phew. Sweating.
Wild dogs have huge home ranges. They can easily travel up to 40 kilometers a day. According to ZCP, the Manzi are heading south.
We've had a pretty good look around here and I can't see any sign of the dogs. A lone hyena here. Hyenas will follow the dogs in the hope of scavenging from their kills.
So now we're following this hyena in the hope he'll lead us to the dogs. Got them. Or at least some of them.
There's a hyena here with the dogs. The dogs are obviously made a kill and it's trying to get the carcass from them. The dogs are chasing them off.
The rest of the pack will be close by. Dogs often spread out while hunting to increase their chance of success.
These two hyenas. If these dogs get evenly matched, then they're in trouble. Well done, guys. These dogs are doing a great job here.
One of them is Snowy. 10 months ago, he was just a vulnerable little pup. Now look at him, taking on a hyena.
The dogs are starting to head off now. Here comes the hyena now. They're going to check what's left.
Hyenas are opportunistic. If a meal presents itself, they'll take it.
You hear those teeth crunching straight through the bones. Got such powerful jaws.
Hyenas can make a meal of every part of the carcass, whereas dogs tend to abandon it once they've stripped off the meat. We need to catch up with those dogs and the rest of the pack.
Is that a dog in the front there?
Yeah.
Yes, mate. Yes.
The winning team.
That is good. So we kind of took a stab on the direction of the dogs from where we saw them leave, and that has paid off. We've got the pups here. I can see a couple of adult dogs in the bushes there.
Whenever dogs go hunting, they should leave a few adults behind to look after the pups.
This is so cool. We've got a couple of the babysitters. We've got one of the younger dogs playing with the pups. These yearlings have got quite a variety of roles to play now. They're an integral part of the pack. They have to help with the hunting, they have to help with the defence, and they have to help with babysitting while the rest of the pack's away. This is like a guard on duty that's really trying to stay awake, knows that it's supposed to be looking after the pups. Falls asleep and it keeps waking itself up. This one's got a stick. As soon as he managed to get hold of it, the other pups will want it. There we go. My stick. Wild dogs live between the cracks. They basically have to eke out an existence where the lions are not. So because they eat similar prey to lions and hyenas and leopards, they often find themselves in areas where other carnivore densities are really high. A pack like the Manzi pack is able to thrive because they're so big. They've got so many eyes to be vigilant, they've got so many adults to hunt and to defend the puppies against threats. But they still have to spend their life on the move. They still have to be predictably unpredictable. If they follow patterns, then animals like lions will be able to track them.
It's the hyenas again. But those are hyena distress calls.
Wow, hyena's getting an absolute hiding in the background there somewhere.
The dogs have all gone.
Sounds like quite a few hyenas.
The pups are back, but they're on their own.
Okay, the pups are in danger here. There's no adults with them. Puppies are all running for their lives now. But they're completely and utterly unguarded, which is really, really bad. Right now, it sounds like the hyenas have mounted an attack. Either that or there's potentially lions around.
Here comes Weka with some of the adults. She's desperately looking for her pups.
They don't know where the pups are. It's really important that the pack comes back together now. The puppies will stay away as long as that adult is alarming. They know that that means danger.
Even the elephants are unhappy. I have to see what's on the other side of this thicket.
Everybody's really, really upset. All those hyenas that were squealing and the dogs that were alarming and the elephants trumpeting. It makes me think there's lions around here. Lions through the trees there. That's exactly what caused the dogs to alarm like that. 3 lions.
I don't recognize these lions. They're not the Chinzombo pride I saw earlier. The Manzi are facing threats from all directions.
That was a really, really serious danger that they've just faced. Pups did what they were supposed to do, which is just run for their lives. The adults took on the threat of the lions, and hopefully everyone's made it out unscathed. Just keep going that way, guys. We don't want those lions anywhere near the dogs. The sun's not even risen. We're out here
hoping to catch up with Manzi back.
The wild dogs have been giving me the runaround. I've been scouring their territory to try to find them. Instead, I've stumbled across a showdown.
We just heard this commotion. There's 2 lionesses and a male here with some sort of kill, and a huge number of hyenas assembling. This is a really, really big, strong clan. Could quite easily kick off.
I'm Julz Braatvedt. I'm a wildlife filmmaker and I love African wild dogs.
This is epic.
Last year, I got to know some special dogs here in Zambia's South Luangwa National Park. Now I'm back to see how they're doing.
Mate, I missed you.
It's the end of the denning season. The packs have brand new pups. And the pups I met last time are yearlings. They have to step up and protect the family. No easy task when their arch enemies, lions, are piling on the pressure.
My goodness.
I'm going to be following the fortunes of 2 very different packs. The mighty Manzi and the fearless Kakumbi dogs as they face their toughest challenges head on. I've found myself in the middle of a face-off between a clan of hyenas and a lion pride. It's unusual to see so many hyenas together like this here. They're after the lion's kill, and they have them surrounded.
14 or 15 hyenas plus whatever's waiting in the wings. Now I'm really hoping not to catch up with Manzi pack. This is a huge number of rivals in the area. It'd be really bad news for the dogs.
These 3 lions almost certainly belong to Chipele pride.
Hyenas are individually no match for lions, but a group like this definitely could mount a challenge and chase them off the kill. Lion's doing lots of marking here. This lioness is really unhappy. Quite a bit of tension.
Hyenas are opportunistic. When a meal presents itself, they'll do anything they can to get it.
There we go, there we go. That hyena managed to get part of the carcass. It was worth the risk. Not a lot left of this carcass for the lions now. If these hyenas can work together, they'll be able to get the rest of it probably.
The hyenas are playing a risky game. The pride male is biding his time, but they might just push him too far.
This male has still got his ears out and he's very much alert. As soon as the male gets up, those hyenas' behaviour just completely changed. They know that he's a massive threat.
But today, the hyenas are in luck. Lions only exert energy when they have a lot to gain. My guess is these leftovers aren't worth it.
These lions have absolutely had their fill. They decided to give up. There's something very, very cool about seeing powerful animals like those lions come just so close to us. You really get an idea of just quite how big they are. And a hyena comes to check me out. Hello, mate. Hello. Just curious. It doesn't mean me any harm. He's just sniffing me. But as soon as I make a move, see? Hyenas haven't got hands, obviously, like we do to grasp things and test them. So what they have to do is they have to mouth things, like a shark does, in order to figure out what it is. If I let them get too close, there's a chance that maybe he'll just mouth my foot, trying to test what I am. And obviously their jaws can crush bones, so that's not something that I want. Off it goes. Beautiful animals. It's pretty incredible that after all of that now, everything's just going quiet. It's still not safe for the wild dogs to come out. Definitely not. It shows you why it's so hard for them to find a place of safety, because you'd think that this now looks like a safe place to be,
but it's absolutely not. There's lions in those bushes, there's hyenas all around here. If the pack came through here, especially with the pups, it would be really, really bad.
The last time I saw the Manzi, they had a very close call with a group of lions. And I'm pretty sure it was Chipele pride, the ones I've just seen. All 11 pups fled for their lives, and the adults ran off to find them. I really want to make sure they all survived, but with their arch enemies in the area, they could be miles away from here by now. So I'm going to change tack and see if I can get a closer look at the other dog pack I'm following. The Kakumbi pack are the opposite extreme to the mighty Manzi. They're tiny.
This is an exciting pack because this is a pack that's kind of on the brink. There's only 3 adults, which is about as few as it gets for successfully raising litters of puppies.
To reach the Kakumbi pack, I need to cross the river. Unlike the Manzi, Kakumbi are located outside the national park and are still taking refuge in their den. There are fewer lions here, but they face an increased threat from humans.
Morning, mate. Hey. How you going? Good.
Henry Mwape is keeping a close eye on the Kakumbi pack. He works for the Zambian Carnivore Program, or ZCP, who monitor all the wild dogs in South Luangwa.
Go straight and then you turn left.
On our way, Henry picks up a signal from one of the dog collars on his telemetry equipment. It's the mum, a mai, and one of the males. They've probably come to the river for a drink after hunting.
We've got to be careful down the water. Pretty serious risk of crocodiles here.
Yeah, they know that it's very risky.
And you can see the fishing camp in the background there. It shows you how close this pack lives to people.
I can't see the other adult male, and he's not wearing a collar Henry can track.
We're quite close to the den here, aren't we, Henry?
Yes.
The other male's probably back at the den, babysitting the pups.
There's a dog right there.
Den sites are sensitive, so we have to be cautious.
So I can see 2 dogs here. Oh, there's another one.
The pups are out of the den.
Wow.
This is a special moment.
It's still very close, just 50 or 60 metres from the den entrance, but the fact that they're out here resting, or maybe they're getting more confident, getting close to moving away from the den with the pack when it becomes mobile.
But the pups' foray is short-lived, and it doesn't take long for them to retreat back to the undergrowth.
This is an extraordinary privilege to be so close to these puppies. It's like being let in on a secret.
How many do you see?
Just 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 5, there we go.
Yesterday there were 6.
So we've definitely only got 5 puppies, eh?
We lost 1 puppy.
As the pups are still confined to the area around the den, it's unlikely it was caught by a snare, and lions seldom venture out here.
What do you think could have killed it?
It's hard to say. Most likely in this sort of environment, like a leopard. I get really sad when I see dogs being killed because we don't have a lot of dogs out there and we want to have more.
It's not unusual for packs to lose pups to predators. But Kakumbi is already a very small group, fighting against the odds. The stakes are only going to get higher for them when they leave their den, any day now. ZCP have had a tip-off on the Manzi pack's location, so I need to act on it straight away. The Manzi pups are a few weeks older than Kakumbi, and they're travelling around with the rest of the pack now. we've been thwarted again. These lionesses are from Chinzombo pride. They're not the ones I saw earlier. I was hoping to find the Manzi pack, but they'll be long gone. They really are living life on the run.
You can see how strong the bond is between them, licking each other and rubbing their faces on each other. That's part of how lions reaffirm their social bonds, groom each other and also scent mark.
Unlike wild dogs who stick together, lions often split up for days at a time.
No sign of their cubs or the male, but these two females are probably a pretty good hunting pair. These females on their own easily take down puku, impala, even zebra. But obviously as a pair, they're twice as strong. Full moon tonight, so I think they'll definitely be on the move. Hopefully the Manzi pack found a safe spot for the night. Something moving in the bushes. She's seen some sort of prey. She's going round. Yeah, there's bush pig. They've gone both sides. It's tricky now, I can't reposition because the bush pig will hear me. What I have to do is I have to wait for a sound.
The first rule of wildlife filmmaking is not to interfere with nature. If the bush pig hears my engine start, it could run away and change the outcome of this hunt. That's the sound I've been waiting for.
There we go. They've got it. They've got it. Okay, we can move over and have a look. Bush pig here. Another one here. Bush pigs running everywhere. Where are the lions?
There.
Oh, you got him?
Yeah, yeah.
Are they still... Oh, there, they got it. They got it. Right in that last light of day. You can see just how hard it is for these two females to try and make this kill. This bush pig is a powerful animal. She hasn't got a good hold. She's got it around the top of the neck. She'd much prefer to be underneath and then she could actually suffocate it, which is the cleanest way that a cat's able to kill. There's still every chance that this bush pig could get away. Particularly because the other lioness just doesn't seem to know what to do.
It's difficult to watch, but this is the reality of nature.
She's desperately trying to hold on because she knows if she lets go, she's going to miss out on this meal. And she needs it. She's got cubs that she's got to feed, so this is just what it's like. It's a cruel, tough, hard world in the bush. Bush pig's finally succumbed. The lioness managed to get a chokehold, and it's out now. Suffering's over. And these lions will have a good meal tonight. You'd think when you're watching nature films that this sort of stuff happens every day, but it doesn't. It's hard fought. We've been spending days and days trying to keep up with both the packs, but also these lion prides. So this is a moment of success both for lions, but also for me. Seeing these lionesses go from sleeping in the sun to killing this bush pig just reminds you why wild dogs are such fugitive species. They have to spend time as far away from lions as possible, or they could be next.
We're after the Manzi again, and my friend Park Scout Simon Chulu is leading the way. He knows the park like the back of his hand. Wild dogs have huge home ranges, and we've heard reports that the pack has now been spotted a long way south. Hopefully, Simon's knowledge of the area will get us there quickly, assuming all goes to plan.
puncture.
Puncture.
Wow.
Oh, it's a good one as well. It's a kind of hazard of the job getting punctures, so you do have to be prepared. Getting the tyre off is the easy part, but getting the tyre on is not quite as easy. But if you use two like this, you can lever it up and get it in nicely.
Roxanne is back in business.
Having a vehicle that can take you to the off-road places that we go and suffer the abuse that we put it through is so important. She's a good old girl. Looks like we've got some dog tracks here.
Yeah, we should check this area.
All right, let's keep going.
We're back on the trail of the Manzi pack, and it feels like we are finally getting closer. Following paw prints is one way we can narrow down the location of the dogs. But there are also clues in the sky.
Julz.
That's a really good indication of the dogs. Hooded vultures will actually just follow the dogs just to eat the poop, so they'll actually track the dogs.
I'm hoping that's where this bird's headed.
I've just seen a vulture land, so I think there's a good chance that maybe it's somewhere around here. My goodness. Fantastic. I've been hoping and praying and wishing for this for days. This Manzi pack has given us the run around here, there and everywhere. So to find them here all together like this and resting, it's going to give me my first chance to see how many adults are still together and also check on all the puppies. Last time I saw this pack, they were being chased by lions. And the last thing I saw was 11 puppies running into the bush and the adults in hot pursuit. And I was really worried that maybe they would be separated. It looks like all the pups were okay and the pack obviously found themselves together again.
But we want to be sure, so Simon's doing a head count.
I've counted 15 adults now.
15 adults, okay.
It looks like 4 of the adults could be missing.
I think we've had a dispersal here, and that's a normal thing. That's just part of wild dogs' life cycle, is that they packs grow and then they disperse and form more packs. Losing 4 adults will be a new challenge for the pack. There's more responsibility on the yearlings. They're going to have to be stepping up to the plate now, being a real part of this pack as they provide for these puppies and also defend them against any threats.
Only a year ago, the yearlings were the pups. In wild dog society, you grow up quickly.
Wild dogs always seem to find a game, whether that's a bank to run up and down or a log to jump over.
Play is a really important part of their development. It teaches them hunting skills and builds social bonds.
I mean, how much fun does that look like having? You've got you and 11 of your best mates and brothers and sisters, and you're just tumbling around in the sand having a good time. I feel like I'm at the beach. Got my feet in the sand, dogs all around. Doesn't get much better than this.
While most of the pack play, some of the older dogs keep lookout. There's Weka, the alpha female. She's always alert to potential dangers. I reckon the dogs will go hunting later, so Simon and I are going to stick around.
A pack like this has to kill pretty much twice a day, every day, at least one impala or puku, because each dog needs nearly 2 kilos of meat a day.
We've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. So while the dogs rest, we're going to catch some shut-eye too. I don't snore. That's definitely Simon. By late afternoon, some of the adult dogs are getting restless. It's time to go hunting.
See the yearlings following at the back there? They know that they've got to go and hunt as well. There's Snowy.
Snowy was one of my favourite pups last year. It's great to see him stepping up.
Yeah, it looks like the pups are being left behind. Right, I think we've just established that some of these yearlings are going to look after the pups, and that's our cue to go. Leave these pups in the capable hands of the babysitters and see if we can catch up with those adults while they hunt. Move quickly.
Wild dogs are fast. Once they start running, they can cover kilometres in a matter of minutes. Keeping up with them takes experience.
Knowing the roads is invaluable, which is where Simon comes in. And you've got to drive quickly, but not recklessly. A puncture or a breakage or... even an elephant like this can really, really slow you down. Come on, mate. Cool. And every moment that you lose like that really costs you, because the dogs are going 35, 40 kilometres an hour just on the trot. Once they start hunting and chasing prey, they'll be going 50 kilometres an hour. And we can't do that. Here are the dogs. It looks like they're on the hunt. We'll keep going, see if we can get in front.
We're always trying to second guess them.
Tiny stump. Let's get this camera out.
The dogs have spotted some prey.
What are they seeing? Oh, there's something here. There's an impala here. Impala here. This is going to be a serious chase here.
And there's Snowy, right at the front.
Awesome to see the yearlings with the adults like this.
Dogs are endurance hunters. They run their prey into the ground.
That is a pretty intimidating sight if you're an impala. Packs after them, big time after them. And miles away. What's our best route, do you think? Back to the main road? Or
Yeah, we get the main road going up, down there.
Okay, let's do it. Go up and right, eh? Rather than, or can I go straight here?
Down the road.
By the time we catch up with them, the hunt's over.
Oh, okay, they're all here. All right. So they're probably missed. And they're just regrouping. That was quite a chase, that. Quite a chase. He just come to investigate me. That is really cool. Man. That is properly like being part of the pack on the hunt. Wow. How amazing was that? It's our first time this season managing to keep up the Manzi pack when they go off hunting. Trying to make those snap-second decisions about where we're going to go to try and get in front or whether to stay behind, and to have been able to correctly predict them a couple of times now is a really, really good feeling. And even though the pack wasn't successful, it feels like we were.
There's been a dispersal from the Manzi pack. Last time I filmed them, I noticed 4 dogs were missing. One of them has a radio collar, and we think we might have located it.
So Henry's picked up a signal using the telemetry, and he can use that to pinpoint where this dog is.
Somewhere here, around.
To 9 o'clock?
Yep.
Can't see anything.
The signal is static, which means the dog isn't moving.
Maybe it's just one dog, not a group like we thought.
They should be right here.
Kind of weird that we haven't seen anything at all. How close are we to the signal?
We're very close. They should be we should be within 20 meters or so.
20 meters. Usually at this point you'd now have found the dogs. So you might have to go on the ground and see what you find.
I'm Julz Braatvedt. I'm a wildlife filmmaker and I love African wild dogs.
This is epic.
Last year, I got to know some special dogs here in Zambia's South Luangwa National Park. Now I'm back to see how they're doing.
Mate, I missed you.
It's the end of the denning season. The packs have brand new pups. And the pups I met last time are yearlings. They have to step up and protect the family. No easy task when their arch enemies, lions, are piling on the pressure.
My goodness.
I'm going to be following the fortunes of two very different packs. The mighty Manzi and the fearless Kakumbi dogs as they face their toughest challenges head on. A group of dogs from the Manzi pack have broken away. Bridget, who works for the Zambian Carnival program, picked up a signal from a radio collar. But so far we haven't spotted any dogs.
He was using the telemetry to try and find them.
We wouldn't normally search on foot because we don't want to spook the dogs. But something's wrong.
Just look around for anything.
In this kind of situation, we always have a park scout with us for safety.
It's quite strong. Could be anywhere around this place.
Somewhere in this area here is where the signal's coming from.
Nothing. Yeah, but around here. Ah,
This is where the signal's been coming from.
wow. It has a lot of bite marks.
Yeah. It was chewed on or something.
This collar didn't just fall off.
And that wouldn't be a dog chewing it off itself.
No.
It just couldn't get to it, right?
It was clearly beaten up.
What sort of things would you expect to be predating an adult wild dog?
Like,
Lions. Lions
Yeah.
are the biggest threat.
Oh, man. Just
That's so
only,
sad.
Only a few days. It's only been,
Yeah.
like, what, 3 days since we saw them.
Yeah.
There's, like, no smell or anything. I guess it's...
No, nothing. I can't see a
Yeah.
carcass.
I guess maybe a hyena might have carried it at a distance or something.
We've been expecting a group of dogs to leave the pack for a while. It's what wild dogs do. But the risks of dispersal are high.
Shame, man. So it looks like the dog unfortunately died, which is a natural thing that happens to them. When they disperse, they face lots of challenges, lions being a big one. So potentially this dog moved with a group, and unfortunately it was killed. Or maybe it died of some other cause and then the hyenas just kind of scavenged from the carcass. We'll never know. Sad in a way, but it's also natural. That's part of the life cycle for dogs as they disperse and they face challenges on the way. This one hasn't made it, but hopefully the others have.
I'd love to know what's happened to the other 3 dogs. They could have suffered the same fate or fled even further. They may have gone back to rejoin their pack. I won't know until I catch up with the Manzi again. And there's no point in searching for them until I get a lead from ZCP. Finding that collar has got me thinking about one of the dog packs I followed last year, and wondering if they are struggling in the same way the Manzi are. The Kakuli pack live in the Badlands to the north, in seriously tough terrain. They had it rough last season and only managed to hang on to 2 of their 10 pups. I've been meaning to catch up with them, so this is the perfect opportunity. Park Scout Simon Chulu knows the area well, so will be invaluable on this trip. There's no mistaking Kakuli territory on the Lui River.
We are back in the Badlands.
Our plan is to drive to the pack's favourite haunts from last year, to see if we can catch up with them.
We're probably a little bit behind the dogs, to be honest. By now, they typically would have finished hunting. So what I'm hoping to find is either them just finishing off a carcass or potentially them having a bit of a rest after their morning exertions. I can tell you the dogs are definitely not here because there are lions sitting on the bank just on the other side of the river here.
I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can count 10.
10 lions?
Yeah.
Right on the bank. Okay.
I was right. It's not just the Manzi who are being hounded.
Well, it's not a good sign of us finding the Kakuli pack. Not around here anyway. Lions will actively seek out dogs. They'll actually track them by smell. And if the Kakuli pack ran into these lions, they would have hightailed it out of here. Right, well, I'm keen to get some closer shots of these lions so I can get some IDs for ZCP. We can figure out which lions these are. That means we need to be able to see the whiskers.
To do that, I'm going to have to cross the dry riverbed. But the soft sand could catch me out.
So by letting the tyre pressure out, what we're doing is we're actually lengthening the tyre. Now our tyre's sitting somewhere here. We've got all that extra traction. Going through the sand, preventing yourself getting stuck is a lot better than trying to get yourself unstuck. Right, well, we made it up. That's good. Oh, it's great to see the whole pride together here. Problem for the Kakuli pack is that a pride this size is a huge threat. Essentially, with these lions here, it writes off the whole eastern section of the Lui River for them. Lionesses and young lions all look pretty alike. The most reliable way to identify them is by their whisker spots, which differ from individual to individual and remain throughout their life. So getting big close-ups of the muzzle, seeing the whiskers on both sides, allows ZCP to tell us which lions are here, and that helps with their research in terms of looking at which prides are using which areas of the park.
Lions may be known as kings of the jungle, but even they have their challenges.
Got a big herd of ellies coming through here. Should be able to watch the behaviour of this herd as they cross the river. We might see a little bit of a stress response when they do actually scent the lions. They want to drink there, but they've got the ears flapping and they're all moving around. They can smell that there's a lion scent in the air.
If there's a confrontation here, these lions could come off worse for wear.
This lioness is already getting a bit nervy about the elephants. Elephants are extraordinarily powerful. If it got hold of a lion, it would just tear it to pieces. My guess is that this pride faces elephants a lot, so they know that elephants in the area is a good sign that they're going to get chased. Yep, here we go. Elephant's going to chase them. The lions are all disappearing off now. They know it's better to get out of harm's way early.
I'm not giving up on finding the Kakuli pack just yet. This is some of the park's most hostile terrain. We call it the Badlands for good reason. There's little water or prey for the dogs, and most of our driving is off-road. My VHF radio acts as a lifeline in case of emergencies.
ZCP, Julz Braatvedt.
But it also allows me to communicate with ZCP. Some of their team are in the area, and I'm in luck.
We've seen the dogs.
ZCP have found the Kakuli pack. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
Kandi Mwitwa is going to guide me in.
So you found the dogs already?
Yeah, we went and had a quick look.
Do you reckon I'm going to make it in there?
I think so.
The dogs are well hidden in this gnarly bush.
What a horrible place. Just a little bit more adjustment to the paintwork.
This feels like a pack that doesn't want to be found.
Both the vehicle and me getting damaged for the love of wild dogs. Okay, we're in. Found the Kakuli pack. Nice to finally see these guys, even if they are in a horrific spot. Looks thin as well, eh?
Yeah, I don't think they ate this morning.
And there's no puppies with them. What's happened?
They had a big litter of pups initially. Were seen with 11. And then a few days later, one big pride of lions went through the den, and only 3 made it. And then after some time, they were down to 2 pups. I can't see any with them at the moment.
It looks like they lost both their pups from last year too. So there are no yearlings to help the pack.
I hope they do better next year, find somewhere, you know, with not so many lions around. But yeah, it's pretty tricky like this. Small pack, lots of other predators around.
Pretty unreal place. There's no way we would have found the dogs if Tandi hadn't have got a fix on their satellite collar. We were just lucky. It's really nice to see this pack, and I'm very sad for them. The fact that they haven't managed to keep any pups going is a real tragedy. Packs succeed some years and fail others. There's always a chance that next year they'll be more successful.
Seeing the Kakuli pack's misfortune, I can't help but think of those 3 missing dogs from the Manzi. Right now, I think their safest move would be returning to their pack. There haven't been any recent sightings of the Manzi pack, but I don't want to delay any further. I have a hunch they'll still be heading south. We've just crossed the Luangwa River when we're suddenly stopped in our tracks.
Just driving down to try and find Manzi pack, and as we're going, we've spotted Kakumbi pack on the other side of the river.
Kakumbi are the tiny dog pack that live just outside the national park. Like the Kakuli pack, the odds are stacked against them.
Wow,
They've got a puku.
it's down, boom. That was quick, man.
All 3 adults are here, which means they've left their pups alone.
I'm at the absolute limit of my lens. Fantastic to see that they've made a kill successfully. They must be so stoked with themselves. This is a good kill, this. Big puku. They'll all eat as much as they possibly can, fill their bellies, and then head back to the den and regurgitate for the pups. The pups will not be going hungry tonight. Dogs are already facing a hyena. Oh, fighting the hyena. They just gave it a proper bite. Taught that hyena a lesson. This is a small pack, but they've got a lot of heart. They really put everything they've got on the line. It's a pack working together, which is fantastic. And this is the kind of pressure that they face. The hyenas are following them. So not only do they have to work hard to get their meal, but they also have to work hard to keep their meal. If they don't eat quickly, then it gives time for other carnivores to arrive and potentially for them to steal a kill from them. So frustrating for me to be on the wrong side of the river. Man. I'm only disappointed for myself, though. I'm happy for the pack. And it's a really encouraging sign for the Kakumbi pack to know that they are entirely capable of not only making a kill like this, but also defending it. Tells me that this is a pack that is got a good chance of succeeding. Okay, here we go. Dog's moving off from the carcass. As soon as that dog goes, this hyena's got an easy meal. 3, 2, 1, and it comes. Boom. That's going to be a very happy hyena. It's got quite a sizable carcass there.
After all that exertion, the dogs are thirsty.
What you'll see now is you'll see them be very nervous along the waterside. There's hundreds and hundreds of crocodiles in here. So if they do drink, there's that potential that they could be in real danger.
2 of the adults, including Amai, the female, are playing it safe, holding back. But one of the males is too close for comfort. He can't see the croc sidling along the riverbank.
Please tell me you're just having a look at the river. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Kakumbi can't afford to lose any of the adult dogs.
There we go, that's better. Off they go. That's it. That's wild dogs. Eaten, had something to drink, boom, straight, done. These dogs have exerted a lot of energy. Now they'll head back to the den to go and regurgitate some food for those hungry pups they've got at home. Right, next time, eh?
That's how it goes in wildlife filmmaking. It's all about timing. We're going to leave the Luangwa River and head down to the very place the elusive Manzi pack was named after, the much smaller and currently dry Manzi River. Pressure from lions has kept the Manzi on the move.
Just stopped in a nice sandy spot close to the Manzi River. We have checked basically everywhere else because there's been lions in the areas that we usually find them in. Quite a lot going on here at the moment, actually. There's a big male lion walking this side, which is the opposite direction to this reasonably fresh track for a dog.
The dogs have passed through here recently. We must be close.
Oh, look at that. There's the whole pack. Yes. Oh, what a relief to be back with the pack. The lions have been pushing them south, and I've not been able to follow them. I've tried and tried and tried. We've had such a hard time. Knew they were heading this direction, but I did not expect it was going to be the whole pack like this.
The first thing I want to do is get a head count.
Haven't caught up with the pack properly since we saw that some were missing. We know, unfortunately, that one didn't make it, but we're hopeful that the rest of those dispersers came back and joined the pack. We're expecting about 30 dogs. Okay, that's 27, so I'm missing some.
There's one behind these bushes, that one.
Okay, 28.
And then that one further.
29.
I just can't believe it. They're all here. It is great. We are back in business. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So those 3 dogs that were missing are back, for now at least. And with the huge lion threat the dogs are facing right now, that was probably a good call. Packs look after each other.
The puppies are here, the adults are here. Everybody. And they're having a grand old time. Classic wild dog boxing here. It's awesome seeing the yearlings playing with the pups like this. They are definitely some of the most playful dogs in the pack. I guess it's because they still got that sort of puppyish nature, even though now they're also such an important part of the pack in terms of hunting, in terms of defence. Here comes Snowy. Snowy's decided to come and join the game.
Snowy always seems to be in the thick of it. I reckon he's a potential alpha.
Filming dogs is definitely extreme highs, extreme lows, intense frustration, absolute joy. It's a real roller coaster of emotions. How is that? This right here is the dream, the absolute dream. A huge pack of wild dogs in beautiful light. It doesn't get any better than this. There's Wicker. She looks really well.
The alpha female Weka is very protective of all her 11 pups. She's got a full belly, which is a great sign.
The adults have obviously fed this morning. They're regurgitating food for the pups. Seeing the pack all back together again has been absolutely wonderful. Despite losing one dog, this pack has managed to stay strong. They've all come back together again despite the odds. I can't help but think that I won't find them here tomorrow. I've heard from ZCP that one of the lion prides is only 5 kilometres away. I think there's every chance that at least some of the adults this evening will run into them, and that's going to put the pack back on the move.
I'm on my way to try to catch up with the Kakumbi dogs. For the past few months, they've taken refuge in their den with their new pups. But I've just found out the tiny pack are finally on the move. And Henry was the first person to spot them.
I was driving very early in the morning and I just saw, number of dogs on the road with puppies. I was like, this is Kakumbi. It's definitely Kakumbi. And this is the first time we're seeing them away from the den.
And the pups have got nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Exactly.
I've been rooting for this pack ever since I first saw them. But this is by far the most dangerous time for these dogs. I'm Julz Braatvedt. I'm a wildlife filmmaker and I love African wild dogs.
This is epic.
Last year, I got to know some special dogs here in Zambia's South Luangwa National Park. Now I'm back to see how they're doing.
Mate, I missed you.
It's the end of the denning season. The packs have brand new pups. And the pups I met last time are yearlings. They have to step up and protect the family. No easy task when their arch enemies, lions, are piling on the pressure.
My goodness.
I'm going to be following the fortunes of two very different packs. The mighty Manzi and the fearless Kakumbi dogs as they face their toughest challenges head on. We're headed back to where Henry spotted the Kakumbi pack, just off the main road.
It's a reasonable distance from the den to here. If they only left this morning, it does show that these puppies have done quite a lot of growing already.
I was
haven't
also
they?
shocked, so...
It's going to be a tough few weeks for them, eh?
Yeah.
Henry works for the Zambian carnival program. He's been monitoring the Kakumbi pack.
Yeah, in front of us. There's the puppies.
Yes, mate. This is so cool. The start of a new adventure.
When pups are about to be born, wild dogs find a den to keep them safe until they're big enough to travel around with the pack. Once they leave the den, the pups are exposed to far more danger. The adults need to protect them, but they also have to go hunting. For the Kakumbi pack, that's especially hard because there are only 3 adults, Mama Mai and 2 males looking after 5 pups.
What do you think the main dangers are to this pack now, mate?
This area is potential danger for snares, and God forbid if the adult female gets caught, it will be disastrous. The puppies, you know, they're still young, they can't keep up with the adults, and when they're hunting, they're left behind a lion or a hyena. You could grab one of them or
Or a leopard?
a leopard. This is the most dangerous time of their lives.
The Kakumbi pack live just outside the national park, and poacher snares are more common.
The snares, we have to, you know, keep an eye on them.
You check for snares as often as you possibly can, but for this pack, it's especially important because with only 3 adults, the chance of them raising all 5 of these puppies are against the odds as it is.
Yes.
If they lose one adult, game over.
Yeah, definitely game over. You know, it will be very difficult for them to defend the pups, not to mention of finding the food.
This pack has been secretive and at the den for so long, and now finally to see them on the move like this is just amazing. It's the start of a whole new adventure for them. Out here, in the open like this, anything could happen. We know there's lion around, we know there's hyenas, so these pups are in real danger, and it's going to take the adult's best effort to make sure that they all make it through.
The next few days could mean life or death for these guys. The other dog pack I'm following faced different pressures when they left their den. The Manzi are a super pack of almost 30 dogs. They have safety in numbers, but they're based inside the national park and face huge pressure from an increasing number of lions in their territory. They've been moving around a lot over the last few weeks, making it difficult for me to keep tabs on them. I'm heading back to where I last saw the Manzi with my friend and park scout Simon Chulu. One of the best ways of picking up on the trail of wild dogs is by reading the behaviour of other animals.
Julz, stop. You see the behavior of that impala?
Dogs usually hunt early morning. Something spooked these impala. But nothing's chasing them.
How's that for an African scene, eh? We've got elephants here, giraffe feeding in the background. All we need now is dogs. All right. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey. You're okay. You're okay. That's it. Keep going. Go on. Good girl. That's about as close as you want an elephant to get, for sure. She wanted to feed on this palm tree. It's just growing here. It's beautiful being surrounded by elephants. But these teenagers you've got to watch because they're just kind of like human teenagers are learning what their strengths and weaknesses are. And if they decide to test their strength on you, then you're going to be worse off, that's for sure. Yeah, let's move away a little bit. We were here first, but they've got right of way, so.
There's plenty of activity this morning, but no sign of the Manzi yet.
Oi, male lion. Uh-oh. That's not good. It's really not good. There's no one behind. Is it a male behind?
It's a male.
Oh, two males, okay. Two lions is not good.
The Manzi really are having it tough this year.
Ugh. Lions, man. They make life so hard for these dogs.
Julz, front.
Eagle-eyed Simon has spotted something.
Saw something in front? Yeah. Let's go have a look. Dogs in front. We've got dogs in front of us here. I thought they might be miles away by now with those lions here.
I think it's the whole pack.
That's the whole pack. Great. Good news.
I'm relieved to find the Manzi intact. But the close proximity of those two lions is a serious concern.
The lions that we saw are within 300 metres here, so hopefully the pack doesn't make too much noise playing. It's possible that those lions could come and try and investigate.
Wild dogs are a fugitive species. They spend their lives in the cracks and on the move, always having to keep one step ahead of the lions. These dogs seem pretty chill, so may well be unaware of the danger that's close by.
The pack does look like they're starting to hunt now. A few adults just starting to range off. Always interesting to see who goes. Does look like a couple of the yearlings here. There we go.
And there's Snowy, stepping up with the older dogs.
I'm going to follow the adults and see if we can see how the pack hunts. This is actually a really dangerous time for these dogs because as they're poking their noses out here looking for prey in ones and twos, they could at any point encounter lions.
Fortunately, the dogs have set off in the opposite direction to those two male lions.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we've got some dogs hunting in front of us. They're coming through here on the chase of something. Ah, man, we're not going to get through there fast enough.
To keep up with the dogs, I'm pushing Roxanne, my trusty off-roader, through some unforgiving terrain.
This is awful. Horrible, horrible. This is the real and mostly unshown side of wild dogs hunting, because right now Ross in the back holding the camera is just getting thrown around like a rag doll. I can see the flat ground. Oh, thank goodness. Chasing, chasing, chasing. They are moving. There must be something in front of them.
Even though we're back on solid ground, the dogs are moving too fast for us.
Okay, we've lost them. Oh.
It looks like I'm not the only one trying to keep up with them.
This hyena knows where the dogs are. For sure. For sure. They don't set off like that unless they know.
Hyenas are blessed with incredible hearing, and we're going to use that to our advantage. They know where there's dogs, there's food.
So we'll just follow at a bit of a distance. Right. The hyenas led us straight to the dogs. So I'm gonna move up. Yeah, there we go. Oh, immediately.
The hyena's in trouble.
Look, there's this dog. Chase him to the right. There you go. They've got him.
On its own, it's no match for the mighty Manzi.
She's getting scrapped yet. Totally scrapped. Oh, that's a proper fight. You see heaps of dust. Heaps of dust. Man. Completely obliterated by the dogs. That was pretty serious, that. She took a beating, but hyenas are tough, tough animals. They've got thick skin, incredibly high pain tolerance, and they're just powerful animals. Really, really respected them.
Dogs only pick a fight if it's worth it. They must have a fresh kill somewhere in the bush.
I think somewhere in here they've been successful. Got some vultures here. It's like a tantalizing glimpse through this Mapani scrub. Try and find a half-decent way in.
The Mapani trees in this part of the park make life really tough for us.
Mapani thickets do hold lots of prey. Dogs are very successful in here. This is kind of where these dogs love to be. You got any dogs here, Simon? I can't see them.
I can't see them.
No sign. Gone. It's well gone, mate.
Whatever those dogs have got, they're so well hidden, I can't get a good view.
It's frustrating to miss the hunt, but not that frustrating, honestly. I hate it when I make a huge mistake and then I miss the dogs because I've made the wrong call. But if I miss the dogs because I can't follow them through the terrain, I mean, that's nothing you can do about that.
You win some, you lose some. It's a tough job following these dogs, for both man and machine. The chase has left Roxanne in need of some TLC. So I'm taking the old girl in for some repairs.
Hey, Prince.
Hi, Julz.
How's it going, mate?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, but...
How's the drive?
Yeah, it's good, but I'm limping a little bit.
Oh, what happened?
I broke a shock, mate. It's just the top here, you see?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, maybe you guys can put another one in for me.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Would love to help.
Great, man. All right, awesome. Thanks, bro. You're only as good as your vehicle out in the bush, and basically your vehicle's only as good as your mechanics. So anytime something goes wrong with the vehicle, whether it's filming or whether it's ZCP with their conservation work, they rely on guys like Prince to take care of it.
An hour later, Roxanne's good to go. And since I'm in the neighbourhood, I've arranged to meet up with Tandi Mwitwa at ZCP's headquarters.
Tandi, Mulibanji.
Yeah, Bo. How are you?
Good, thanks. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Should we find some lions?
Yes. Ready, ready.
Perfect.
Ah.
Awesome.
Tandi is ZCP's lion specialist, and I'm eager to pick her brains. I've encountered lions almost every time I've searched for the Manzi pack this season. I want to know just how many prides are in Manzi territory. Tandi's brought her telemetry kit to help locate one of the prides.
So which pride have we got here, Tandi?
So this is a pride that we call the big pride. It's been in this area since 2008.
Oh.
So they've got a long history. We named them because when they first moved into the area, it was nearly 30 lions total. It was a massive group. But over the years, different factions have broken off, and currently this core group is about 6 or 7 lionesses, and there's usually 2 males with them.
She looks like she's got a wound or something. What would cause that?
Hunting potentially, or even fighting with other lions. Could easily be like, just a little bit of a poke with a buffalo horn.
A little bit of a poke with a buffalo horn. That sounds more serious to me.
It is. It can actually be life-threatening
Wow.
or fatal for these guys.
Although it's a small pride, it's really quite a big threat to a pack like the Manzi.
Yeah, this one and their offshoots. There's about 8 prides within just the area that the dogs cover. And that's not counting, any nomadic males passing through. The dogs have to be smart. If this area becomes too active in terms of lions, then they have to book it out of there. I think that's what happened the past couple of weeks.
What is it about dogs that makes lions want to kill them all the time?
I think they recognize them as direct competitors for resources. Nature is brutal for everybody. There are very few species that have it easy, even, the supposed king of the jungle. It's rough.
It'd be easy to think of the lions as villains, but they're not. They're just actually doing the best by their own young, aren't they, to try and reduce the competition for food.
Yeah, it's a tough life for both.
Life on the run, eh? It's making it difficult for me, that's for sure. Everywhere I go, all I find is lions and no dogs.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to understand what a massive threat the Manzi pack are facing this season. Tandi has also got me thinking about Kakumbi pack again. The dogs are extremely vulnerable now that they've left their den. True, there are fewer lions where they are, but there are plenty of other predators that could take out one of the pups. Not to mention poachers' snares. If they haven't encountered any threats, they should still be in the same area I last saw them.
I've seen something. Was it a warthog? Or was it a wild dog? No, it's wild dogs. Got him. Wild dogs and the puppies.
Kakumbi seem to be relishing their newfound freedom. And they're all accounted for.
We got everybody here, it's all good. This is actually the first time I'm getting a good clock of the pack together. They've been at the den for so long.
And these pups are beginning to learn there's a whole new world out here. This could well be their first encounter with a vulture away from the den.
This is a rite of passage for most wild dog pups. You see just how nervous they are about it. To see them coming out like that is a sign to me that they are starting to learn that their world is bigger than just the den. I'm sure they're a little bit confused as to why they've been brought away from the den like this, but this is just what the pack has to do. Ultimately, they have to leave the safety and security of the den to range out to find better feeding opportunities. They've got so much learning and growing to do. Got to work out what's fun, what's a toy, what's a threat.
It's going to be a steep learning curve, and it's down to Mum Amai and the 2 adult males to help keep them out of trouble.
You can see just how nervous these adults are. They're on edge. Alarm call.
The pups are oblivious to any dangers, but when they hear one of the adults' alarm call, they know to be wary.
Warthog males like this are pretty serious. You can see the size of these tusks. Do serious damage.
The adults are clocking every move the warthog makes.
The level of confidence from this big boar is pretty incredible.
The warthog is standing its ground. If the pack was bigger, the dogs may well give chase, but they have a lot to lose here.
The adults are probably making a decision about whether this is too risky or not. The worst thing that could happen right now is for one of these adults to be injured.
If that were to happen, the pack would be unlikely to survive. 2 adults would not be enough to raise these pups. The warthog is getting too close for comfort.
That little one doesn't want to be the first in line. No one wants to be the front one. First in line to take a warthog tusk.
The warthog doesn't look particularly threatening, but for some reason it seems determined to graze closer and closer to the pups. The adults have decided enough is enough.
Didn't take much to chase that warthog off.
The confrontation only lasted a few seconds. But even so, one of the male dogs got a small wound from the warthog's tusk. It just goes to show they were right to be cautious.
I have to say, I had faith in these 3 dogs and their ability to keep these pups okay, but it's always nice to have that faith justified. These 3 dogs, the Kakumbi trio, have really, really earned my respect. They are an extraordinary pack of dogs. To be raising 5 pups on their own is no mean feat. And there's not many packs that could do it. Now, the important thing is that all 3 of these dogs stay out of trouble. Just do what they've been doing, which is to be hunting well, defending these pups well, and if they can do that, these pups will make it.
The tiny Kakumbi dog pack has got itself into another scrape. They're in a face-off with a deadly predator.
They've treated a leopard, which is pretty extraordinary. It's quite a big leopard.
The dogs are safe while the leopard's in the tree, but if it comes down, there could be trouble.
This leopard could probably
take out one of these adult dogs quite easily.
Leopards are a serious threat to wild dogs. This one may prove to be more than these 3 adults can handle. I'm Julz Braatvedt. I'm a wildlife filmmaker and I love African wild dogs.
This is epic.
Last year, I got to know some special dogs here in Zambia's South Luangwa National Park. Now I'm back to see how they're doing.
Mate, I missed you.
It's the end of the denning season. The packs have brand new pups. And the pups I met last time are yearlings. They have to step up and protect the family. No easy task when their arch enemies, lions, are piling on the pressure.
My goodness.
I'm going to be following the fortunes of 2 very different packs. The mighty Manzi and the fearless Kakumbi dogs as they face their toughest challenges head on. Mum Amai and the 2 adult males have chased a leopard up this tree and have no intention of letting it get away.
We're just close to camp and we often hear a leopard at night. This could be the one. So it's possible that a leopard was stalking the pack.
The Kakumbi pack have got it tough. There are only 3 adults to look after their remaining 5 pups.
A leopard like this could very easily be a threat to the puppies. This pack already lost 1 puppy to a leopard, so let's hope they haven't lost any more.
There's no sign of the pups. Hopefully they found somewhere safe to hide.
Can only imagine what the night's been like for this pack with this leopard here. Adults are still quite alert. I'm sure they're very nervous with these pups. They want to know exactly where that threat is at all times. He's not happy. You can see when that leopard got serious, how the pack reacts. It's all well and good having a tame leopard up a tree. It's doing exactly what you want it to do, but when it comes down snarling and teeth bared and claws out, it's another thing.
Two hours later, and it's really starting to get hot. I guess the dogs feel like they've made their point. Hopefully, they're going to retrieve the pups from wherever they've stashed them. For now, at least, the pack is safe. Leopards are a constant challenge for dogs. But the even bigger threat is lions. I'm keeping tabs on them too. I've arranged to meet up with the team from the Zambian carnival program. ZCP monitor all the lion prides in South Luangwa. To do this, they rely on radio collars to track the animals' movements. The collars last several years, but eventually need to be changed.
I've been part of collaring operations before, but lions are something different. There is that sense that you're around a big, powerful predator. So you do get this kind of nervousness, I guess.
The collar we're going to change today is on a lion from Nkwali Pride. The collar is nearing the end of its battery life, and ZCP have been waiting for the right opportunity. The pride is finally in a reasonably accessible area.
All right, I'll jump in with you, mate.
Yep.
Hey, Gibson. Thanks, buddy.
Henry's at the wheel, but we're going to need 2 vehicles for this operation. So Tandi's team is following us in.
So the first step now is to get to the lions, which might be harder than we think. They're in a thicket here, so we're going to have to try and go around and see if we can get a clear angle.
Veterinarian Dr. Mwamba Sachande is going to dart the lioness, but it's going to be tricky if all of the pride is together. 2 males, 3 females. The one whose collar needs to be removed is there as well. Henry and Mwamba are just trying to work out the best place to dart from. They've got to get a good angle. Shot went in, straight in the shoulder. Great shot from Mwamba, fantastic shot. Now he's got to keep eyes on her and then watch for the first signs of the drugs taking effect. We're hoping she'll stay in this open area and not wander deep into a thicket. You can just see her eyes starting to blink, looking a bit sleepy. Once she's out, we need to work quickly before the anaesthetic starts to wear off. She's just fallen in a nice open clearing here. She's just in front of us. With an operation like this, safety always comes first. It's just prodding her with the end of his dart gun just to make sure that she actually is asleep. The rest of the pride are just meters away. So the second vehicle gets between us and the other lions. This is a really key moment here. Mwamba's just checking her reflexes, making sure she's actually properly asleep. Here we go. We have to keep our voices low, so we don't risk waking her. Changing the collar now. Just getting the collar to the right length. Man, it's a massive animal when you get this close. The collar needs to fit well. If it's loose, it could get snagged on a branch or even slide over her head. How tight does it need to be? Nice and tight.
I think it should be fine now.
I don't want that collar to come off and be my fault. It hangs without affecting her, so she should really not even notice it, that it's there. And she's had a collar on before as well, so she won't be unfamiliar with it. Now the collar's on, we need to retrieve the dart.
Okay. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay, it's coming out. This is good. What a beautiful animal, man. Just absolutely stunning. You can see how massive her shoulders are. Those big paws. Compared to being next to a wild dog, it's like 4 times the size. You've known this lioness for a long time, then?
Yeah, very long time. We saw her, I think it was back in like April of 2013. And her mother was just carrying her by the mouth. So she was a tiny little baby.
What's it like for you seeing her like at this size now, fully grown, knowing her from that age?
I think it's a wonderful spot of privilege to be able to kind of like watch her go through different stages of her life and, you know, have her own pride.
And this collar's going to help you continue to monitor and look after her?
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, send locations every morning. And then that way we can coordinate ground efforts just to check what's going on.
When an animal's under anaesthetic, the team always take the opportunity to give it the once-over. Show me those teeth, Henry. Look at the size of them. Oh, that's unreal. It's like the length of my pinky finger. It's 40 degrees out here. We need to make sure this lioness is comfortable when she wakes up. This water's just going to help keep her cool. She's going to wake up feeling refreshed, eh? Dr. Sachande is going to give the lioness a drug to reverse the effects of the anaesthetic. I think it's time for us to get back in the vehicle now. She could wake up quickly, so we'll get back and get out the way. We're going to monitor her from a distance,
She's already waking up. Just lifting her head a little bit, moving it around. Okay, she's trying to get up. She'll be a little bit wobbly now. That's totally normal. Totally normal. She's up there, she's moving. It's perfect. I mean, she's a little bit groggy. You can imagine you would be if you've just woken up from a sedative and you're not exactly sure where you are, but her pride is really close. So she'll just be up and moving now, and she'll join the rest of them. I've filmed wild dogs and now helped collar a lion all for lunch.
The middle of the day tends to be pretty quiet in the bush. So Simon and I are going to put our time to good use.
Simon is an original fisherman from here, so he's got the local method. And honestly, I'm using a different method because that way, if he beats me, then I've got an excuse. Watch out for crocodiles as well.
You want to see who will be the champion?
That's right. One, yes. That's a good one, mate.
Big one, man.
Oh, yes!
Got it, my friend.
Got it. Little catfish.
Another one.
Simon.
Simon is well and truly the champion.
Lunch today on Julz and Simon's cooking show in the bush is freshly caught bream, some tomatoes and onions, and also some fritters, which we picked up in the market. Not bad, mate.
So nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's late afternoon and I want to catch up with the dogs. The huge Manzi pack have been on the run from lions all season.
We just heard from a local guide that they spotted the dogs. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the pack's still going to be there.
The Manzi left their den with their new pups 4 weeks ago and have been moving around a lot.
Dogs, yes! All right. Oh, look at that. This is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Got the dogs.
The pack has had a stroke of luck.
Looks like they've got a fresh kill here.
It's still pretty early, so this impala must have walked straight into the dogs. But it's a great opportunity to see their behaviour over a fresh carcass.
They're having a good old munch here. The hierarchy around a kill like this is really interesting. First of all, whichever adults have made the kill will feed as quickly as possible because they know that as the pack arrives, as soon as those pups get there, they're going to have to relinquish the carcass. And that's what's happened here. So the pups use their age and their very submissive behaviour to force the adults, essentially, to give them a meal. Here, this adult is almost begging from the pups here, you see? They're going to chase him. At this young age, these pups are doing a lot of growing, and so they need to be feeding like this. Food is actually a driver of dispersal for dogs, because essentially, if you're a low-ranked dog and all these puppies, of which there are 11 in this pack, feed first, then the alphas come in and then they feed next, your chances of getting a meal are very low. So you might think to yourself, hey, I'm doing all this work, but I'm not actually getting any food out of it. So why don't I just set off and try and find another pack or start one of my own? Yearlings coming back and trying to get some food from the carcass. They're using their best begs that they can. making lots of little yips and noises, trying to essentially get the pups to relinquish part of the carcass to them. But it's not working. These pups know that they are top dogs at the moment, or top pups, as it were. To see the whole pack together like that, working out that social hierarchy, this is what wild dogs is all about. Just being part of the pack.
I want to try to catch up with the tiny Kakumbi pack again. I'm concerned about the pups. I didn't spot them when the adult dogs chased the leopard up the tree. The best time to find them is early morning.
Look at that.
The lioness we collared yesterday.
Just crossing the road here, right in front of us. It just shows you how close people live to wildlife here. Town is just beyond these trees. And here we are, we've got lions which look like they could be hunting. Well, okay, great to see her. We've got to get to the dogs, though.
The Kakumbi pack live in the buffer zone, just outside the national park, close to town. But with that comes challenges.
Dogs. This is not a good spot for them. This is the main road just here. And it feels to me like the adults are trying to cross. This is a dangerous time for the pups. They are not familiar with roads. And although this looks like a dirt road, this is actually the main road. So trucks and cars and everyone comes flying through here. Really hope no cars turn up now. These pups won't know what to do.
I can only spot 3 of the pups. There should be 5.
What's happened to the other 2 pups? We've got 2 puppies missing, unfortunately. Oh dear, look, we might have lost 2 puppies in the night. Adults are waiting. Oh God, we've lost 2 puppies. Hopefully they're just hidden somewhere. I would just love to see 2 puppies come out of the bushes now.
Mum Amai is agitated.
I can see that she's stressed. I can see that she's keeping her ears alert, listening for the sounds of puppies.
Then I spot another pup. So that's 4, but there's still 1 missing.
They haven't lost 2 puppies then. Maybe just lost 1. Yeah, there's 2 there. And then there's a 3rd one there. And then a 4th one here. It's just lying down in the shade. Oh, little guy. You made it.
It's really hot now. Wild dogs usually seek out a cool spot to rest at this time of day, not sit out in the open like this. I suddenly get why the pack are acting so strangely.
One of the adults has come to collect these pups and this one is injured. It's got some kind of wound on its shoulder. It does not look well at all. It's shaking and shivering as well. I don't know, what's wrong with this thing? Now it looks like it's going to try and get up.
It's not unusual for dogs to get injuries. but this wound looks serious.
Yeah, it's limping badly. Really badly. Oh, it's got a wound on the back as well. Oh. Just collapsed down to the ground.
I'm not sure what's happened to the puppy. It looks like it could have been attacked by a predator. And I suspect that's what's happened to the missing 5th pup too.
A wound like that in an adult dog could be okay because the rest of the pack will actually amazingly feed injured dogs. But I don't know what the survival chances for a wounded puppy like this will be. It won't be able to get out of danger, won't be able to keep up with the pack. Can't help but think that it would be an easy victim for a marsh legal or a leopard or something.
It's difficult, but we can't intervene. Wild animals live wild lives, and we have to let nature take its course.
Really hard seeing an animal in pain like this. But there's nothing you can do. It's just part of life in the wild, unfortunately.
The pack stays with the injured pup all day. But as it heads towards dusk, the other pups are getting hungry.
Probably begging for food. This is the time that adults would usually get up and get moving to go hunting. See this adult male is coming down to check on the pup. Even the puppies know something's wrong. Poor little pup can't even get up. I think its injuries may just be too much for it.
Out here, it's survival of the fittest. These adult dogs have to focus on their remaining pups.
Unfortunately, the puppy has died. It's not surprising. It had really serious wounds. The pup's got to go join the adults. It's quite heartbreaking, actually.
The bush is beautiful, but harsh. And not all pups are destined to make it.
It's hard watching this pack be eroded like this, seeing the puppies just being whittled down. Much as I'm trying not to be, I think I am being affected by it. As a filmmaker, it's hard not to become invested in the stories of the characters that you follow. And when they endure hardship like this pack is, then you take some of that with you.
I've just spotted the Kakumbi pack. They're in a dire situation. Yesterday, they lost 2 more pups. And now they're doing something I've never seen them do before.
So the pups have gone down a hole here. Very strange, there's a whole lot of dust. It's like one of the adults has been excavating, but I don't know why they'd be doing that.
There are only 3 adults to defend the pups, and they've already lost half their litter. This could be an act of desperation.
They've finished denning now, the pack is mobile. Maybe the stress of losing these pups is causing them to try and re-den or something.
The Kakumbi pack is on the brink. I'm Julz Braatvedt. I'm a wildlife filmmaker and I love African wild dogs.
This is epic.
Last year, I got to know some special dogs here in Zambia's South Luangwa National Park. Now I'm back to see how they're doing.
Mate, I missed you.
It's the end of the denning season. The packs have brand new pups. And the pups I met last time are yearlings. They have to step up and protect the family. No easy task when their arch enemies, lions, are piling on the pressure.
My goodness.
I'm going to be following the fortunes of two very different packs. The mighty Manzi and the fearless Kakumbi dogs as they face their toughest challenges head on. The tiny Kakumbi pack is fighting for survival. It looks like Mum Amai and the two adult males are creating a new den to keep their remaining pups safe.
It's a very unusual behaviour, this. The female here digging, and it does look very much like they are trying to den. And I think having a couple of very challenging days with the pack first becoming mobile, it's not surprising that they want to go back to that feeling of security.
A wild dog pack normally only dens when the pups are first born.
This pack has lost 2 puppies in just 3 days. And they lost a puppy about a week before that as well, while they were at the den, probably to a leopard. So they are really battling. Really battling. And I just hope they can keep these last 3 alive.
The odds have always been against the Kakumbi pack, despite their ferocious spirit.
And it feels really unfair, despite everything that these adults are doing. All the energy that they've put into every hunt, every chase, every fight with hyenas, every alarm call at lions, they would still lose pups. They don't have enough dogs. They don't have enough adults to really be a successful pack.
But their story isn't over. If Amai and these 2 males can hold on to the rest of their pups, they could yet be a successful pack.
Now that there's a few less mouths to feed and a few less puppies to have to watch out for, unfortunately, it does probably make it a little bit easier for these adults to raise these last 3 pups. And if they were able to do that, it would just completely and utterly change the odds for them for next season. Even just 1 or 2 extra helpers to defend, to feed, to stay and babysit while the adults are off hunting would make the world of difference for this pack. So I'm hopeful that they'll take the time now with this, what looks like a temporary den, to be able to recuperate, gather their strength for a final push to try and bring these last pups up and set themselves up for a really good year next year.
This is probably the last time I'll see the Kakumbi pack this season. I'm keeping everything crossed for them.
The pack's looking very relaxed, which is great. Puppies are all in the shade, the adults are resting, so we'll leave them to it.
My time in South Luangwa is coming to an end, but I want to catch up with the other dog pack I've been following before I go. The mighty Manzi have been hounded by lions the entire time I've been here.
We just stopped for a bathroom break, actually, and heard a lion roaring. So just gonna have a look around the corner here and see if we can't figure out who it is.
Look at the cubs. I recognize these guys. These cubs are from Zambia, one of 8 prides in Manzi territory who've been pushing them further and further south. That must have been their mother we heard earlier. She's probably very close.
Cubs are so healthy.
They're so healthy. Cubs are calling for mum. A lioness with cubs is just about as dangerous as it gets for people or wild dogs or anything. They are fierce when it comes to defending their cubs, and they'll give their life if they have to.
This doesn't bode well for me finding the Manzi today. Wild dogs have to live alongside lions because they hunt much of the same prey, but they avoid their nemesis at all costs. These lions have been busy. A giraffe carcass. They've had their fill and have left the carcass up for grabs.
Scavengers like hyenas and vultures are responsible for cleaning up what's left after other carnivores like wild dogs, leopards and lion have finished and got their fill. And if they didn't, then a lot of the meat would just rot and go to the flies. So they're actually helping to clear up the ecosystem here. Unlike wild dogs, though, hyenas will scavenge. That's not because wild dogs wouldn't enjoy the free feed, but because it's way too risky for them to come to a carcass like this. Lions are probably just a few hundred metres away, and so if they were to stay around this area and scavenge, then there's a good chance that the lions would turn up, and that could be absolutely deadly for the dogs.
I can't resist a small detour to the hyena's den. Simon already knows where it is, so we're going to see if anyone's home. Like most hyena dens, this one's an underground burrow. If you think lion cubs are cute, then you're in for a treat. The den entrance is hidden under the tree line, but I have a plan.
I've brought with me a remote camera, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix it to the bottom of the vehicle, and that's going to allow me to have a really low camera, and the low camera is going to help me see underneath the bushes. I've got this little monitor recorder, and that allows me to see the picture from that camera, and then I've got this handy-dandy little remote control, and that'll allow me to maneuver it.
Now to get into position and keep as quiet as possible.
If we sit here for long enough, hopefully they'll come out and be just interested in what's going on. Oh, yes. Look at these little cubs. These two cubs are very, very cute.
Hyena cubs are pretty advanced when they're born. Their eyes are open, and they have a full set of teeth.
That's the reason why the hyenas have been staying in this area. They've got this den right here. It's possible they've got another den nearby as well.
A mother hyena often has her cubs alone in a small den. She takes them to the communal den once they're older.
These cubs are probably, 3 months old. They're losing the black that they get when they're very, very, very small. All the animals out here are all battling for survival, all battling to raise their own young. And that's what makes them such fierce competitors. They've all got this drive to survive.
My search for the Manzi has drawn a blank today. Wild dogs have had to adapt to living under the radar and between the cracks. This season has proven to me just what a fugitive species they really are. As the dry season progresses, the level of the Luangwa River is dropping. The pontoon which has been ferrying us into the national park is no longer in action, which means Roxanne is going to get wet.
The river is getting very, very low, so much so that we should be able to cross. It's always a bit nervous the first time because you don't know how deep the water is. Woo. Mate, this looks deep. Let's go. Woo. What we don't want to do here is stall because then the water goes into the engine. So you've got to keep your speed up a little bit. Make sure your revs stay high enough.
Another reason not to stall. The Luangwa is full of crocs and hippos.
It's not coming in yet. This will be the deepest part, where this hippo is. Come on, girl. Look at those hippos. Holy moly. Eye level with the hippos. Okay, this is deep. This is really deep. Revs up, that's good. Nearly there. Oh, hit bottom there. We'll have to make a bit more of a road there for ourselves with the spade.
You have to be equipped when you're driving in the bush.
All right. Too easy. Woo. Made it across.
Wild dogs can roam over huge distances and have been known to travel up to 50 kilometres a day. The latest intel we have on the Manzi pack is that they're still heading south. We've hardly made any headway when we're brought to a standstill.
So we've got a bit of a roadblock here. Herd of probably 200 odd, 300 odd buffalo. They're just making their way away from the river, feeding out there somewhere. The Kiwi equivalent is sheep on the road, but these guys are a lot more dangerous.
Buffalo are considered one of the deadliest animals in Africa.
There's one thing that most people who spend a lot of time on foot in the bush fear. It's walking straight into buffalo.
They may look like harmless cows, but they can be defensive and quick to anger.
You'd think that this number of individuals would make quite a bit of noise, but if you listen, there's almost no sound at all. Buffalo are a lion attractant. Large prides will sometimes follow herds of buffalo. It's a very reliable food source. And when they've got young calves, which this herd does have quite a few, they are particularly vulnerable. Well, looks like we've got a little bit of a gap, so I think we'll take it before any others come through.
Hanging out in large herds can protect buffalo from predators. But not always.
Lions. Oh, there's a male there. So this must be that Chinzombo pride.
It was the 3 Chinzombo cubs we saw playing on the log. I've barely been here 5 minutes when things start to get interesting.
We've got some buffalo that just arrived.
And the lions have clocked them.
I had a go at them. The buck just shook them off like it was nothing. Got buffalo chasing the lions now. So they've missed their chance. Right, all back together again. Oh, they've already got a buffalo. So they've already killed one buffalo, probably last night, and now they just had another go at another one. Man, this is a pride that's a force to be reckoned with. You can just imagine what it would be like if the wild dogs, say, came down here for a drink. Lions are one of the main limiters to wild dog numbers.
There are the cubs I saw the other day, but there's only 2. It's unlikely the mother would leave one cub alone, so I suspect, sadly, that the 3rd cub has died.
There are a lot of threats out here, and it's not just the dogs that lose pups. Lions also tend to lose their cubs. The mortality rate for lion cubs is high, and not very many make it to adulthood. The lions are the villain of our story, I guess, in a way. But I don't want to paint any of these animals out to being the bad guy. Lions are also just doing their best to look after their young. I hope for now they'll sit here and munch on whatever buffalo they've got and leave the Manzi to just look after themselves. But as we've seen today, you never know when lions are going to strike.
This year, the pressure from lions has pushed the Manzi further and further south. We're now 35 kilometres from our camp. I've never been this far south before. It's going to be even harder to find the dogs in unfamiliar terrain.
Look for tracks, look for signs of puku being relaxed, which means the dogs haven't passed through, and keep your eyes absolutely peeled for a little flash of those white tails moving through the bush. Something here, there we go. Some running. Impala running across us in front, that's a good sign. The beat to our left because the Impala were running away from the dogs. Sorry, Roxanne. Dogs, yes! We got it, buddy. Oh, look at that.
But the Manzi aren't hunting. They've just cornered a leopard in a tree.
So we've got the dogs. Looks like they've stolen a kill from a leopard. Here's the leopard, not looking very happy at all.
Mum Weka has no intention of letting it escape. Dogs see leopards as a threat. It's not unusual for packs to chase them up trees. I saw Kakumbi do the same just a few days ago.
Oh, we've got elephants turning up, chasing dogs as well now. These elephants are so pissed off about the dogs. The reason why they're so upset is because they've got a young elephant with them.
Wild dogs often like to tease elephants. To them, it's a bit of a game. But elephant mothers don't like being messed with.
We actually have to be a bit careful here. These elephants are really mad. It does not pay to play with angry elephants. If we're surrounded by dogs or the dogs come behind us, then they could charge.
These dogs are staying put.
The dogs don't seem overly concerned by the ellies. They know that they can get away if they have to. Yeah, these ellies are mad. They're going to charge again. Definitely going to charge again, throwing dust, looking very angry. The only dogs that are really in danger from these elephants are the pups. If they didn't get out the way in time, they could easily get trampled. That being said, dogs are exceptionally good at getting out the way. Dogs have kind of gone back to playing.
The elephants are still stressed out.
You can see them doing this defensive formation with their tusks all out, putting the pointy end first.
The leopard's probably in the best place right now.
Now we've got yearlings looking at this leopard. Despite all those elephants giving them a hard time, these dogs are still trying to get... Oh, one's climbed into a tree. Oh, my goodness. I've never seen that before. Yeah, a wild dog just climbed into a tree. Unbelievable. The ellies have moved off, and I have to say I'm actually a bit relieved to see them go. When it's a breeding herd like that and you've got 4 or 5 really big, angry females protecting young, those are elephants you need to watch out for. Well, dogs have all set off to the river, and this leopard has had a stressful morning, so I think I'll leave her to her peace, and we'll see if we can catch up with the dogs.
Each wild dog eats around 2 kilos of meat per day, and this is a big pack. I suspect they'll be on the lookout for more food.
Dogs are on something, not sure what it is.
An impala.
Yep, there we go. Okay, here, this side, this side, this side. Come on, come on, come on, guys, come on, guys. Yeah, here it comes, here it comes. Here it comes with the dogs. Come on, dogs. Come on, dogs. Ah! Oh, that was close. Can't believe it jumped over that dog. That's just unreal.
And the dogs haven't finished yet.
Go, 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 go! Woo!
Large dog packs often split up when hunting. This group has already made a kill. They can strip a carcass in minutes.
I suspect these are the dogs that made the kill because they're covered in mud. So I think they've chased through a big pool of mud that's probably on the other side here, and that's what's slowing this puku down enough for them to get it. But now, lots of who calling going on, and they're running back to try and find each other. What an awesome day with the Manzi pack. To come 35 kilometres south and still manage to catch up with them is just really, really awesome. This is probably about as far south as I can follow the Manzi pack. Now they look like they're going to keep going, and that is way too far for us. So this is probably the last time I'll see them. It's been an absolutely extraordinary experience to follow them this season, to see them on the run from lions, just left, right and centre.
And it's been a privilege to watch individuals within the pack grow.
It's been such a joy to see these yearlings, from when they were puppies last time, to being now able to help provision and protect the next generation.
In my mind, Snowy is showing all the hallmarks of being a future alpha male. He's stepped forward whenever the pack has gone hunting, and put his body on the line when a hyena tried to steal their kill. But Snowy and the other yearlings may not stay with the pack forever. Some dogs could try to disperse.
I think next season, this pack could look quite different. Next time I'm back, I could be looking at a pack that's potentially going to have this cohort of yearlings leave to strike out on their own.
Nothing is guaranteed with wild dogs. Theirs is a never-ending story.
Filming wild dogs is one of the great joys of my life. It's just hard to describe how amazing it is to be with a pack like this, to follow them, to learn the characters, to understand their lives. I'm sad to leave them now, but I'm looking forward to following them again. I wish them well.